Hi, this is Glenn
and Richie
from Judas Priest.
Put your horns up.
Why don't we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the production of the record itself?
Production of the record started, was it early 2011?
Yeah.
When Rob and Glenn got together, started writing some songs. And then I joined the band. We embarked on the Epitaph tour. Riffs and melodies were written on that leg as well, which I don't think the band had done before. I took a recording rig out on tour with me, so if you ever get that inspiration or that lightning in a bottle that Rob calls it, you know, you can capture it, put it down. So when we got into the studio environment, we'd all been away as well separately and put ideas down on our own time. So we put all those ideas into the cauldron and started kicking ideas around. And all of a sudden, you've got 3 tracks, you've got 7 tracks, and you've got 12 tracks, and you've got 15 tracks, then you've got 18. And I think, was it 19 or 20 we had in all?
19 or 20, and we ran out of time really in the end. We said enough's enough, let's finish off the 18, and that's what we did.
And then, yeah, I mean, it was a very natural approach to the writing, the recording, the production, very focused, very honest, you know what I mean? Very from the heart, kind of from the writing process to everything really, very natural. The character of the band, in my opinion, over 40 years, speaks volumes. You know, you hear Glenn with a guitar and an amplifier, you can tell it's Glenn Tipton. You know what I mean? Same with Rob, same with Ian and Scott, you know. And also we'd had that exposure to a 40-year back catalogue on the Epitaph tour. So I think that all seeped in. You know what I mean? And you take from it what you can and put it into the new, not consciously by any means, but I think because we were all exposed to that, I think that had a part to play in the creation of the Redeemer of Souls.
Sound-wise, I think we've got to mention Mike Exeter. He worked over and above the Call of Duty, you know. Mike's a great guy, and he achieved what we wanted to. The album does sound like, you know, it was in his hands, and he did a great job.
Which are some of the songs that for you guys are like, you know, the most special, the ones that you were, okay, you know, really looking into recording and then, of course, into playing soon live?
On the new album?
Yeah.
I like the opening track, Dragonoid, but there's so many tracks on the album, you know. Cold-Blooded is a good track, and Secrets of the Dead. It's just got everything that a Priest fan would want.
Yeah, I think they're all special for different reasons, you know, personally. Because, you know, you create them, and they could start off as a riff or an idea which then become more than that, you know. They become a journey or, you know, a story of, you know, Rob's storytelling, or they just become, you know, a vibe that people can hear live now and take on, hopefully, and become their own classic songs. So they're all special for their own reasons, you know. I always remember having a riff. The next stage of it was Rob coming up with ideas vocally, and you're sitting in there as a guitar player, you come up with a riff, and it takes on a whole new, you know, range of possibilities when Rob gets on it. It becomes priestalized or metalized or whatever you know. Priestalized. But I think I'd have to go for, I keep coming back to The Halls of Valhalla as my favourite track. Just the way it fades in, it's epic, it kind of takes you on a journey, and I've always been a fan of that dynamic in metal.
And why Redeemer of Souls? What was the inspiration behind the title?
We just felt it was a very appropriate title for a Judas Priest album. You know, Sad Winds of Destiny, Redeemer of Souls. It's got that ring about it, and it's a, you know, a being that can be what you want it to be. It can be good, it can be bad. You can be scared of him, or he can be your friend. Just, you know, you don't upset him, sort of thing. And it's just a very priest-like title, and we thought it just suited the whole flow of the album.
He's a character as well, isn't he? Like the painkiller or the sentinel, or, you know, jugulator or the tyrant. You know, all those sort of things that you know, who's that? Where's he come from? What does he represent? It's classic priest kind of connotation when you think of those figures. The painkiller, you know, where's he come from? And when you look, and the artwork reflects that as well. You know, it opens up your imagination to whatever you want. Where the hell is he? There's fire, and there's 2 tornadoes, and he's got wings. Is it the sad wings, you know, of Destiny Angel? Is it the Angel Retribution? You know, all those things, all those questions that you can interpret in your own way, which I think is part of the Judas Priest fantasy, you know, for me as a fan anyway.
How was the transition of, you know, going from, let's say when you said, okay, we're gonna call the farewell tour, we might not do this again, then, you know, KK leaving the band and Richie coming into the band. Why don't you tell us about that transition and kind of the thought process of saying, okay, we have definitely material to keep going?
We set plans for the Epitaph tour. So it came as a bit of a shock when Ken retired. You know, he'd got wrist problems, and it was a decision that must have been very difficult for him to make, but it was devastating, really. And I've said it a million times. I don't think we would have continued if we hadn't found Richie. And you know, Richie just blended into the band magically. It was unbelievable.
Was there any hazing?
Every day. No, it was from day one. It's been just a family atmosphere, you know, inclusive and creatively very inspirational. And once you're part of that sort of group, it's not a dictatorship, you know. There's not one or two guys deciding everything. It's everyone has their own opinion and is asked for the opinion, and the opinion is valued, you know. So it's been a very inclusive, family feeling atmosphere from day one. So no hazing. Not that, you know, not that I can think of anyway. Maybe there has been, but not that I was aware of anyway.
And obviously this is the first week, which, as you know, for records are so important. You're doing a lot of press campaigning. So let's talk a little bit about how it used to be and how it is nowadays, especially because everybody would think that, okay, Judas Priest puts out a record, they can sit back and it'll sell for itself. Well, why don't we tell them a little bit of what the reality is like?
No, you know, we've been with Epic, Columbia, Sony, in that record company, so to speak, or in different sections of it for many, many years. And we've always gone well, but you know, every album, no matter how good it is, needs to be exposed in the right way to the people that can't and the people that really want to hear that sort of music. And they've done excellently with this album. It's been a great team. They've understood where we're coming from, and the album's out there, and so far the reaction's tremendous.
But it is, you know, you've got to get out there. You've got to. Some people aren't aware of it. You've got to get out there and get in the Cadillac and drive it through Times Square with the 50 Harleys, you know. It's just a spectacle, and I think that's part of rock and roll and it's part of metal, just to create that impact, you know. So it is hard work. You can't, even for a band I think like Priest with that 40-year legacy, you can't just sit back and let the record do its work, you know. You've got to get out there and work it and introduce it to people and talk to fans and all the stuff that, you know, we love creating it and we love talking about it, and hopefully the metal fraternity will love listening to it. So it's all part of it. It's, you call it hard work, I wouldn't call it work. I wish I'd have a word for it, but that's all part of getting the Redeemer souls out there.
What have been some of the hardest sacrifices you guys have to make as a team to make sure you can, you know, do this for 40 years already and keep on going?
Well, I mean, for me, you know, I love my home and my family and Doug. You know, I love my home a lot, so to actually live in hotels is one of the hardest things for me. The time on stage is glorious, you know, every second I love on stage and the roar of the audience. But the travel is pretty arduous and can, you know, get to you sometimes. Just being away from home, really. I'm a bit of a homeboy, really.
For me, I haven't really sacrificed anything yet. Apart from my sanity, you know, hanging out with these guys. No, I haven't sacrificed anything as far as I'm aware. I mean, when you're picked, when you're called to duty, so to speak, and the metal gods ask you to come on board and fly the flag, I mean, I couldn't think of anything that's that valuable that I wouldn't sacrifice it to go and do that and to take on that honour and that duty and forge forward with them, you know. So. No, I couldn't say. Luckily, I haven't sacrificed anything yet that I'm aware of, apart from my mind.